I don't think I can perform that good. But I'll do my best. It's been quite a summer here in Arizona, right? The summer of SB 1070. The summer of hatred, the summer of persecution, the summer of bigotry. It's been this summer. But it's also been the summer of, yes? The summer of resistance, the summer of love and solidarity. And you saw it with many organizers coming from all over the country to Arizona to help. And you saw it on May 29, when over 100,000 people walk in the streets of Arizona. A journey of love. You will see faces from all walks of life, white, brown, yellow, red, from all walks of life, from all kinds of people, just like here. And this is essentially what our adversaries fear. If you look around the different faces, you look around the diversity, this is what they fear. And I want to tell them that they shouldn't, because we're not advocating for the exclusion of anybody. We just want dignity, respect for the most vulnerable members of our society. It's as easy as that. Our people just want to make it, just want to bring food to the tables of their families, just like our adversaries. They were after the same thing. There's no difference. And they shouldn't fear us, because that's not what we are about. You, here in Arizona, are going to play an essential role to determine how this immigration debate unfolds in the country. Obviously, our country faces a lot of dilemmas, immigration being one of them, and we have to address it. It has to be fixed. There's too much suffering, and at the center of any strategy that we push forward must be the suffering of people. Anything that we do must address and must alleviate the suffering of people. I don't know if that's going to work out. But let me walk you through. This is where we're standing. And I'm going to do this because I really want you to see the special role that Arizona has in the broader struggle for immigrant rights. Obviously, someone came up with this number, that there are 12 million undocumented immigrants in this country. And people are trying to figure out what to do with the 12 million undocumented immigrants, or more or less. It doesn't really matter. So on one side, our side is fighting for the inclusion of these 12 million people. We're going that way. The other side is fighting for attrition, the exclusion of people. And what that this strategy is about, I really want you to understand it really clear. Because our adversaries have not been trying to fix, in good faith, that so-called broken immigration system. This has been the strategy since the beginning. The attrition strategy. La estrategia de desgaste. There are three elements in this strategy, and you could see it even in the language of SB 1070. Number one, they want to close every single opportunity that migrants may have to survive, economically speaking. They're going to go after workers who stand on street sidewalks to look for work. They're going to approve employer sanctions. They've done it here. They're going to go after landlords that rent to the undocumented. They're going to go after agencies that provide services to the undocumented. They want to make it miserable, impossible to survive. That's the first element of their strategy. It's clear. The second is deny access to justice. In other words, if a worker gets hired and he or she doesn't get paid, then this person wouldn't have a legal remedy. If a mother is a victim of domestic violence, this person wouldn't have the ability to call the cops for protection. If an undocumented immigrant is arrested by cops, he or she wouldn't have his or her Miranda rights read. No due process. As a matter of fact, Border Patrol agents have now the discretionary power to deport people. They don't have to see a judge. That's the second element of their strategy. Deny justice. Ensure that those institutions that administer justice are not accessible to our people. But in order for those two elements of the attrition strategy, and this was part of their language in SB 1070, in order for that to work, they must normalize hatred.
Right.
And how are they doing it? You've seen Arpaio carrying out well thought out rituals of humiliation. Mothers giving birth in shackles, tied to their beds. Undocumented migrants, inmates, being paraded and called the media to mount a spectacle. These are rituals of humiliation, and they have a purpose. It's not a simple coincidence. They want to normalize hatred, normalize the mistreatment of Latinos, of immigrants, and people of color. So that way, nobody questions these practices. They also use language to normalize the hatred. Illegal, illegal alien, illegal immigrant, invader, terrorist. These are the three elements of their strategy. They've never been really willing to fix this immigration, the so-called broken immigration system. They fear what's in this room. They fear diversity. It's a fear for a non-white majority. And again, they shouldn't be fearful because we're not asking for the exclusion of anybody. The main proponents, obviously you know, of this strategy is the Tea Party and the Minutemen. Those are the ones who have hijacked this debate so far to the right. And they're winning. They're winning until we say, this is the end. And we're working in that direction. They have a very clear strategy. We have been fighting for what we call comprehensive immigration reform all of these years. In our debate, we have kind of come up with this framework. Yeah, you know, we need an immigration reform, but you have to learn English. You have to go back to your country. And maybe in 16 or 20 years, you can become a citizen. Maybe. That has been the framework of the mainstream organizations in Washington, D.C., and we have let them get away with that kind of framework. We, and you especially, need to move this debate to the other side.
That's right.
That's the role that Arizona needs to play in this struggle. If you can see, while we have said, yeah, comprehensive immigration reform, our adversaries on the other side have been, their strategy has been very clear. Number one, you know, Carlos mentioned the English-only initiative, Prop 200. After that, they moved to the 287G program, to the employer sanctions, to the secure communities, to SB 1070. And they didn't stop there. No, they went for the elimination of ethnic studies programs for high school kids here in the state. And they went after the teachers who speak English with an accent. Hey, I speak English with an accent, but I'm smart. I'm a smart guy. And then they're discussing the birthright citizenship of the kids of the undocumented. Then when they went to the board for the border bill, they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. And that's been their strategy all along. And what is it that they want? They want to make life sufficiently miserable so that migrants pack their bags and leave. But that's not what's happening here in Arizona. That's not what I've seen. When 100,000 people who are not in fear go out and march. And we're telling them this is who we are. So this is our role, and this is your role in this immigration debate, moving it in this direction. And if you make a comparison of our adversaries and what we are about, you know, our side has pushed for, other than CIR, for sanctuary cities, for municipal IDs, for driver's license, out-of-state tuition. These are some of the initiatives that our side has pushed for, because we have all been focused on CIR, Comprehensive Immigration Reform, while the other side has had a more defined strategy. You here in Arizona need to move this debate in this direction, towards dignity, towards respect, towards justice. And no longer, and we should not allow the current system, a system that tolerates, a system that welcomes the fruit of our labor, but a system that doesn't recognize our humanity. And it's got to change. It's got to change. So essentially, you know what you got to do? It's now time for the affected communities to take their destiny in their own hands. If every person here goes back to your community and organize a barrio defense committee, and I'm sure that there's members of the barrio defense committees here. Can you please stand up, the members of the barrio defense committees? Come on. They're having an event, a fair at a local park, a health fair. I know this morning there were a lot of events. So this is the level of organizing that where we need to take it. We need to build power. We need to be stronger, and we must come to Washington D.C. from a position of strength, not from to come and mitigate loss all the time. I think it's possible. I think voters here. You can help register them. I know there's an event coming. Please get involved. Talk to friends. Talk to relatives. Talk to everybody. We must change. We must stop this strategy. Otherwise, it's going to be too late. And this is the challenge that we have. The program that allows police and ICE collaboration is here in Maricopa County. In the coming weeks, we're going to be implementing a very strong campaign to demand that the Obama administration eliminates the 287G program that the Sheriff Arpaio has. So please, when you get the email, please send a petition. We want to make sure that hundreds of thousands of petitions get to the desk of the President, and that this program that separating families end. And similarly with the Secure Communities program. In November, there's going to be the hearing about SB 1070 in San Francisco. We expect you there too. We want to have tens of thousands of people outside the court. This is the way we're going to win. Voting, mobilizing, generating consciousness, engaging at the local level with barrio defense committees. You need to push this debate in this direction. Muchas gracias.